Hey book lovers, Kaylee here and welcome back to the Enchanted Library, and today's video is one that I haven't done for about a year, and that is what I am currently reading. So this type of video is one that I find it very difficult to make because I usually only read one book at a time, and I usually read them relatively quickly. So by the time I make a video like this, I've usually completed the book and then there's no point. But for the last couple of months, I have completely diverted from my usual reading style, and I have been in the middle of so many books, like a lot of books. So I thought that I would share with you guys what books I'm currently reading. They're kind of a wide range of genres and styles, so let's get into it. The first book I have here is actually a nonfiction, so I've tried to get into the habit of reading maybe one chapter before bed, but I haven't picked this book up for a little while, but I do still want to finish it. It is Spinster, Making a Life of One's Own by Pollock. And this book is all about empowering yourself as a woman and not really feeling like you need to have a man to feel complete, but also it talks about a lot of women who, to Kate, made a really big impact on her life. So we get to learn about all of these women in history as well as her own life story. So I just think that this is a super fascinating story. I do just need to pick it up more. Next up, I'm currently in the process of reading book 1 in the Queens of Renthia series, which is The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. Now, this book is all about a world where there is one ruling queen and she controls all of the different creatures that are within the world to keep peace. But that peace has been disrupted, and now this one girl is in school to see if she is going to become the next queen, because there's this whole schooling system in order to determine who is going to rule next. And whilst our main character is in school learning everything and how to become the next ruler, all of these beings and all of these creatures are not listening to the queen, and chaos is ensuing, so she ends up having to figure out how to stop said chaos. So this is a series that I know a lot of people really like and really enjoy, and I can't wait to continue on with it. I'm currently on chapter 8, so I'm not too far into it, but I have heard really great things about it, so I definitely do want to finish it and hopefully continue on with the series. Next up, I am reading a book in a format that I don't normally read, and that is an audiobook. So I am currently in the process, if you can see, of reading The Romanovs, and that is by Simon Sebag Montefiore. And I have been wanting to read this book for a very long time. I'm on chapter 106 of 200 and some odd. It's like a 28-hour long audiobook, and I am 13 hours into it. And so far, it is fascinating. Like, I knew it would be fascinating because I just find the Romanovs fascinating, and I have been looking at the physical version of that book for a very long time, but I had a credit on Audible that I decided to use because I just thought that it would be a great format to read that book in. I do still eventually want to get the physical book, but having it read to me as an audiobook is almost like being in a lecture hall, which I find fascinating. I feel like the best way for me to read audiobooks is with nonfiction because, like I said, it just feels like a lecture and I can listen to it in the car. The reason that it has taken me so long to read, though, is because I don't automatically gravitate towards audiobooks. It is a beast of a book, but so fascinating. If you have any interest in the Romanovs at all, I've been fascinated with the Romanovs since I was like a preteen, so this is just a book that is right up my alley. And in that same vein, I am also currently reading I Was Anastasia by Ariel Lawhon, and this book is a historical fiction, so it does have some accuracy with regards to the life of Anastasia and also following the sort of reappealing of her being alive at the time, people thought. So this is just a very interesting read. It's actually the book that I am reading with a couple of my friends for my book club. So if you did not know, I am starting a book club with a few of my girlfriends this year, and the very first one is going to be on the 20th of January. So if you guys want to come and talk about this book with us, I'll be doing a live show on my channel here to discuss it. But please bear with me, I've never done a live show before, so I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of technical difficulties or not. I'm assuming I will, but I'm only maybe 13 chapters into this book, and I have so many thoughts. So I'm very excited to discuss it. And if you guys if you're interested, please feel free to join us for the discussion and read along. And the last book that I am currently reading is Malice by Gwyn. I'm about halfway through this book, and it is a beast of a fantasy book that I just can't wait to continue on with because it is so fascinating. It's not a fantasy book where you have romances and things like that. It is like a war book. So this is all about an upcoming prophecy that is coming into fruition, and giants and worms, and it's just insanity. And we follow a few different POVs, and I am fascinated with two of them at the moment, being Corbin and Veritas I think is how you would pronounce it. But Corbin at the start of this is only 14 years old, so I can just imagine throughout the series how his growth is going to be. And then Veritas is just a fascinating new adult, so he is like 19 years old, I believe, at the time of this book, and I just can't wait to see their stories unfold. And stuff is getting really serious, and we're halfway through, and war is definitely happening, and I am so excited to continue on with this book and this series. It does just take me a little bit to get through because it is a dense read. I usually read fantasy books pretty quick, but for some reason this one is just taking me a little bit longer, but I am definitely enjoying it. Alright, so those are all of the books that I am currently reading. Be sure to follow me on Goodreads if you want to know my current status with any of these books and what books I pick up next, because throughout all of this I have reread already 2 books this year and finished 1 new book, so I am reading a lot at the moment, but I am very excited to see what 2019 will bring for the rest of my reads, but be sure to follow me on Goodreads to be up to date with all of that. And as always, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content. I put out new videos every weekend, and until next time, keep reading.